Okay, so we're at the table, and what I'm going to be using today is 24/7 cotton, and this is a medium 4 yarn, and there are 186 yards here. So I only use 2 of these, but it's all going to depend on your limb, how many of these that you're going to need. Now we're going to be needing a tape measure, and we need the tape measure to measure the waist, and we're going to go a bit beyond that measurement. We'll also need a yarn needle to weave in our ends at the end of the project. We will need scissors, and I'm going to be using a 4mm hook. To get this project started, we're going to be measuring the waist. Now, once you have your waist measured, we will be putting like a drawstring into the top of them. Now, you can choose to make this the exact size of the waist or go out more. The more that you grow this out from the waist will be more of a gather that it's going to give the skirt. So from the waist, I would suggest to at least go out 5 inches. More than that will give you more of a draw back in, but you want to at least make it the size of your waist. So again, that's all going to be customized depending on how much of a gather you want your skirt to have. Now for mine's here, I'm working with a 30-inch waist, so I'm going to do 35 inches. Of course, that's going to fit the waist with extra room to give the skirt a nice little flow. Okay, so we're going to begin this project by making the waistband. So we're going to need to make a foundation chain with 8 on it. So let's add our yarn to our hook, and we're going to chain up 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And once we have our chain of 8, we want to look at not the first chain from the hook, but the second chain, and we're going to go in there and make a single crochet. We're then going to single crochet all the way down this chain, foundation chain, and when we're done, we should have 7 single crochets. And the last one. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And we're going to start with the first stitch where we're going to go in and put a single crochet. In the second stitch, a single crochet. In the third stitch, a single crochet. Now for the fourth stitch, we're going to chain 1. We're going to skip that fourth stitch, and into the next one, we're going to go in and put a single crochet. So we skip the fourth stitch, next one single crochet, the next one is going to get a single crochet, and the last one is going to get a single crochet. Chain 1 and turn your work. Now these 2 rows we're going to keep repeating. A row of single crochets and then a row of 3 single crochets, chain 1, skip 1, and 3 single crochets. We will repeat this until we get our desired length. So let's go into the next row. We're going to go in and place a single crochet. Next stitch, single crochet. The following stitch, I'm going to go in and place a single crochet. Now where we have our chain 1 space, we're going to go right inside that chain 1 space, and we're going to make a single crochet. And we're going to keep going, making single crochets for the rest of the row. Alright, chain 1, turn your work. Now we're going to place the 3 single crochets, chain 1, skip 1, 3 single crochets. So starting with the first stitch, single crochet, next stitch, single crochet, next stitch, single crochet. Now we're going to chain 1, skip the 4th stitch, and into the 5th one we're going to go and place a single crochet, and the 6th one single crochet, and the 7th stitch gets a single crochet. We will then chain 1 and turn our work. So I'll show you that again. This is going to be a row of all single crochet. We'll go into the first stitch, 1 single crochet, the second one, 1 single crochet, the third one, 1 single crochet. Now the 4th one is the chain 1 space, so we're going to go inside that chain 1 space and place a single crochet. The next stitch, single crochet, the next stitch, single crochet, and the last stitch, single crochet. Chain 1 and turn your work. This row would be 3 single crochets, chain 1, skip 1, 3 single crochets. And we'll keep doing that, alternating those 2 rows back and forth until we grow this the size that we want. Okay, so I have gone a little bit past my 35 inches, but as you can see here, with a light pull, you can see the holes it almost looks like a belt, right? You can see the holes very clearly going all the way down. Now I want to make sure that I stop on an all single crochet row. So right here I'm at a chain 1 row, so I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, and finish this off. So when you end, you must end on an all single crochet row. Go into my chain 1 space, single crochet, okay, so now that I have my desired length, we want to take and place this together. We're going to connect these two, and this is why it's important to both be on just a single crochet row. I'm going to put them together. I've already chained 1, so I'm going to go right back into that first single crochet here and the first one in the back, and I'm going to make a single crochet. Now you can do this with a slip stitch, but I want to be very aware of where my back is, so I'm going to make a single crochet, and we're just going to match up the stitch in the front with the stitch in the back and make a single crochet. The stitch in the front with the stitch in the back and make a single crochet. And this is our last one, and we'll match that up, single crochet. Now I want to chain 1, and I actually want to open this up, right? So this side is now my back side, and this side is going to be my outer side. Now what I want to do is every single row, I want to go around and place 1 single crochet in every single row. So this being my first row right here, I'm going to place a single crochet, and this one my second single crochet, and my third single crochet. And we're going to place our single crochets all the way around until we come back to where we began. So I've gone all the way around and I have come back to right where I began. So what I want to do is slip stitch into the first single crochet that I've made on the other side. So I'm going to go right in there, grab my yarn and pull it through both ends. And now I want to chain up 7. Now at this point we're going to start making our mesh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Right. So now I want to skip 1, 2 single crochets, 1, 2, and into the third one I want to place a single crochet. And we're going to do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We're going to skip 2 single crochets, and into the third one we're going to single crochet. We're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Skip 2 single crochets, and into the third one put a single crochet. Chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Skip 2 single crochets, and into the third one place a single crochet. And we'll do that all the way till we come back here, and I'll meet you here and go over our next step. Okay, so I have gone all around, placing 7, chaining 7, and then single crochet, skipping my 2 single crochet. And so all of these are chains of 7, and I have gotten around to the beginning, and I have 3 more single crochets. So I'm where I am going to chain 7, and I usually would skip 2 and would go into the third one. Now if you are where I am, where you skip 2 and then you have 1 more, you're going to do what I'm doing. If you are where you have 1, wherever you are, okay, as long as you can't make another group or another set of, let me put that back on, as long as you can't make another set, 1, 2, then what we want to do here is we want to chain 7, 6 and 7, and then we want to join it right on to the next loop. So as long as you can't make another loop, once you get to the place where you can no longer make another loop by putting it down and then looping over, then you're going to join. Okay, so if you have 3 or less, you're going to join. If you have 4, then you will skip the 2, go on that one, and then do what we're about to do. So just join it right into the chain 7 and make a single crochet. Now from here to the rest of the work, you're going to just keep going round and round. We will chain 7, 2, 7, and into the next chain 7 we will go in and place a single crochet, and we will chain 7, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and into the next chain 7 we will go in and place a single crochet. We will continue to do that all the way around, and by the time we get back here, we're going to keep doing it. We're never going to stop. Okay, so it's going to, now that we've joined it like this, it will be continuous. So you're going to keep going all the way around doing the same thing until you get to the length that you want. All you're going to do is chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Go to the next chain 7 and place a single crochet and chain 7 again. Now the reason why I wanted this to be so noticeable is because when we get to the desired length area, we want to stop in the back, okay? So we want to make sure we're stopping around about the back, okay? But you will not be able to tell. It's just going to keep flowing around, okay? So I'm just going to grow this. I'm going to kind of make a shorter one here. So I'm going to grow this to the length that I want, and I'll show you what we're going to do at the end. Okay, so this is where I am on my skirt. I am almost done, but I need to finish up this row, so I need to add on some more yarn. So I want to use this moment to show you how we're going to add on yarn when we run out, change colors, or whatever it is we're doing. So get my hook back in there, and you see I've already chained 7, and now I just need to make my single crochet. Well, that single crochet is where we're going to add on new yarn. So we're going to go in to the next chain of 7, grab our yarn, and come up. Now normally we would grab our yarn and pull through to complete that single crochet, but we're going to pause right there. I'm going to grab my new yarn, wrap it around my finger, and then I'm going to add this to my hook. And this is what I'm going to use to pull through, and then I'm just going to chain my 7. Now I want to take the new yarn and the old yarn, and I'm just going to secure it until I weave it in just like that, okay? And then I'll come back and weave that in later. And then we're just going to keep going on, making our single crochet into the chain of 7 and chaining 7, and go on to place our single crochet into the next stitch. And I'm going to keep going all the way around. Now, one reason why I left this so prominent is because I'm going to go all the way around until I get to this area, which is right about here. Now it won't matter if you hit this right on the nail, it's not that deep. I'm just want to come right to around here, and then I'm going to stop. So I only have a little bit to go, so I'm going to get right there, and then I'm going to show you what's next. Okay, so I've gone all the way around, and I am back to right where I started. And the only reason why it's important for me to get right back in the back is because I want to put on a border. Now this is good to go just like this. You can throw tassels in each one of these chain 7 spaces and have long tassels to go all the way to your heels. You can do short tassels. You can leave it as it is, or you can put a light border on it. I'm choosing to put a light border on this. So once I have made my last single crochet right there, I want to chain 1. Now because right here where I'm beginning, this is pretty much half of the chain 7 because I'm just working on this side of it, I'm going to put 3 single crochets there. 1, 2, and 3. Now I will put a single crochet where my single crochet is, and into the chain 7 space I will put 7 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And again, in my single crochet, I want to put a single crochet and my chain 7, I'm going to put 7 single crochets. Single crochet is going to get a single crochet, 7 single crochets into the chain 7 space, and we'll do that all the way around until we come back to where we begin. So I'm going to go all the way around and I'll meet you back right there. Okay, so I've gone all the way around doing my single crochets, and now I want to do another row. So now that I've placed my 7 single crochets into this chain 7 space, I want to slip stitch into the first single crochet that we started with. So I'm going to go right in there, grab my yarn, and come back out, and then go through on the other side. Now I want to chain up 1 again. I'm going to turn my work, and now I want to go back there doing the same thing, placing 1 single crochet in every single crochet. Okay, so I'm going to go all the way around placing my single crochets, and then I'll come back to show you how to start off our 3rd row. Okay, so I'm finished my 2nd row and I'm ready to start my 3rd. So I want to slip stitch right into the top of the first single crochet we begin with, and chain 1 and turn our work. And now I'm going to put on the 3rd and final row. I'll go all the way around and meet you right back here. So I've gotten to the end of my 3rd row. I'm going to slip stitch into the first single crochet, pull through. I'm going to cut my yarn here. And then I'm going to chain 1, pull through, pull down tight. Now weaving in is always so I'm going to show you guys now how to weave this in if you need any assistance. So I have my yarn needle. I'm going to add that on there, pull it through. Now I'm going to take this area right here, and I just want to weave this back and forth. Okay, so it's not visible. A little tug down, and now I'm just going to go zigzag back and forth, trying to stay predominantly in the same area. And I'm just going to weave this in until I feel comfortable, and I know it's not going to go anywhere, which is usually 3 times. But sometimes you have a longer string and you want to do a little extra. So once I have it all the way tucked in, I'm going to go and cut my yarn right at the base so it's not seen. And that is how we're going to weave in all of our ends. Now let me see. Yeah, so now what we want to do is make a simple chain that's going to be our belt that we're going to feed through. So I'm going to make a simple chain of maybe like 200 because I want to give it enough room that if need be, the user wants to expand it to its maximum size, it can still be tied. So you just want to do it till it could extend the maximum size and have enough string to be tied good, but also if it's drawstring in, it's not too long. So I'm going to try 200 for this short skirt and see how I like that. Okay, so we just want to get our yarn, Move this aside for a second. Just want to get your yarn. Go ahead, add it to your hook and just chain up 200 or whatever amount you decide you want to use. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll come back in and show you how we're going to end this off and feed it in. It's just simply cut my yarn, and then I just want to chain one and pull it through. That's it. Now I'll be making knots on the ends, but once I've already passed it through. Now the last thing is to put this on. Now you see here, this is our back. Okay, I made my back like this so we can always notice it when I come back to it. Now we have right here, we have a first hole on this side, and we have our first hole on this side. Now what I'm going to do, and mind you, this is on the inside, I'm going to take my hook and put that behind there, and I'm going to grab one of my ends and pull that through. And I'm just going to go into the next hole on the other side, and I want to pull that through. Now I could do this with my finger. I'm just demonstrating it like that. Now I want to start weaving this back and forth, starting from the back. Okay, so it's going to look like that in the very back. And I also want to use this moment to make sure that they're even. So I'm making sure that they're even, and whichever side needs more, of course it'll pull over there, and now they're even. So I'm not going to show this all the way around, but now from here, this one's going to work all the way until you get to the midpoint, and this one's going to work, weave it in and out until you get to the midpoint here. Okay, to make it centered. So that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to go and pull this in and out. I'm going to do it with my fingers. Pull this in and out of the holes that we have created, and that's going to be it. So this one's going this way, and this side is going to go this way. Your holes should be very easy to notice. It might not show up good on camera, but the holes are very easy to notice. And again, we're just going to keep going around. So I'm going to go ahead and go this way with this one and this way with this one, and I'll meet you here. I also wanted to show you guys another way to do it. You can always use a small safety pin and go ahead and add this on at the end of your chain, and you can work that in and out the holes super swift. And it makes it go much faster. Okay, so this is where I am. Skirt is completely done. Now, as I was going around, and you see I started here, so you can see that it's kind of even. So I started right here, and I went all the way around, going this way and this way. Now, I have one hole right here in the middle. That's because I wanted to make sure these ended out here, that one hole is not going to bother anything. So if you get to the point where if you go back in, one's going to be in the back, one's going to be in the front, you can just skip one hole right there, and that's fine. If this one would have came out on the outside right here, that still would have been fine. But so you know, you can do that. Okay, if you skip 2 holes or whatever, it's still going to function with this drawstring just like you need it to, and it's going to come out fine. So let me get the safety pin off of here. And now what I want to do with my ends, you can leave them just like this, but I always like to take and knot my ends at least a few times. It's nothing drastic. Okay. Try to catch it right on that knot one more time. And then I'm simply going to cut that short. Okay, so we have that versus that, so it just depends on the way that you want it. Okay, and that is that. This one is done. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Comment and let me know what you think. Like this video if you like this video. Please make sure you subscribe, and until next time, I will see you on Age's Cozy Crochet Corner.